Quantum computing is coming, and when it does, most of your encryption protecting your data, your bank account, your government systems, it's all going to be breakable. Today I want to talk about the company I'm personally invested in, and I think it's positioned itself to solve this problem. The ticker is LAES, or Sealsq Corp. So what exactly is Sealsq? Sealsq make post-quantum cybersecurity chips and semiconductors. Think of them as the hardware layer of quantum safe security. Right now, most encryption relies on math problems that today's computers can't solve fast enough to crack. But with quantum computers, they'll be able to solve these problems almost instantly. So Sealsq is building chips that will protect against that. They're not just a software solution, they're a physical hardware, which means they're much harder to bypass or hack remotely. They trade on the Nasdaq under ticker LAES, like I said earlier, and were founded in 2022. And they operate as a subsidiary of cybersecurity, a Swiss cybersecurity company with a long track record. Now let's talk about the numbers, because this is where it gets interesting for me. Q1 2026 revenue came in at around $4.1 million. This might not sound massive, but compared to Q1, that's around 3 times when it was only around 1.3 million. That's over 200% growth year over year in just one quarter. And it's not just for this quarter, they have also reaffirmed their full year guidance of around 50 to 100% revenue growth. When a company is growing that fast and is still confident enough to break their own targets, that tells me something. On top of that, they have around $525 million in cash and short-term investment. For a company at this stage, that is massive runaway. They're not scrambling for funding, they have the resources to execute. And the pipeline is real. They have around $200 million on identified revenue opportunities through 2029, with more than 10 companies actively evaluating their QS7001 chip right now, including LAES Semiconductor, which is already a publicly announced partnership. So here's the big picture and why I believe in this long term. Governments around the world already are preparing for quantum threat. The NSA has a 2027 deadline for agencies to migrate to quantum safe cryptography, which is not that far away. When this wave hit, enterprises and defense contractors are going to need certified quantum safe hardware fast. Sealsq is already in the certification process for their QS7001 chip. They've passed critical security testing and they're targeting first production revenue from that chip in late 2026. But it's not just the US. They've also completed a pilot with the Swiss Armed Forces Space Command. They're building what's being called India's first sovereign post-quantum cryptograph center with Canis Semicon, and they have a partnership with WeCSat to develop a quantum spatial orbital cloud. This is a global play. I'm not just going to tell you all the good stuff about quantum and Sealsq, because there is some bad as well. Because there are real risks. The stock is currently under pressure, trading below its historical price and has not become profitable yet. Cantor Fitzgerald, which was actually bullish on the stock, still cut their price target from $7 to $4, citing faster cash burn and warrant dilution risk. And the biggest risk of all, post-quantum adoption could be slower than anyone expects. It is really down to, do companies need quantum security as quick as we think, or will they drag it out as long as possible until they really need it? Depending on how long that will take, it will affect Sealsq Corp's biggest revenues. So this is obviously not a safe, boring investment. This is a high conviction bet on specific technology timeline playing out. So why am I personally holding? Because I think quantum threat is real, the timeline is tightening, and Sealsq is the one few companies actually building certified hardware solutions for it. The revenue growth tells me that demand is already picking up for their existing products, and with over 500 million in cash, they still do have a long time before they have to worry about funding or taking on debt. But I'll be looking at their QS7001 certification closely. That's the catalyst I think that moves the stock significantly. If that fails, it could lead to them losing contracts, their pipeline weakening, and higher cash burn. I'm also watching to see if they can turn that $200 million pipeline into actual signed contracts and into actual cash flow. But I'm currently invested, I'm currently holding, and so far has benefited. The stock has gone up since I've bought it, but obviously this is not financial advice. Please do your own research when investing. And if you found any of this useful, don't be afraid to subscribe. I'm going to be covering more content like this in the future, so hitting the subscribe button and the like button would really help me out. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.